Calling on all salespeople. Do you know in the world, all of us are dealing with other people. And when we deal with other people, one of the things that we have to keep into consideration is that we are putting across ideas, things that we want others to do, etc., things that we want to buy. And we're always facing a sales situation. A lot of times people don't realize how much we are selling and everything that we're doing. And why is that looked at in the sales world? Because in the sales world, one of the things that we learn, and you'll find that out when you register for my workshop, is that the techniques involved in selling are the techniques of communication. And that's also very social as well as a business directive is communication. You're not just talking to the other person, you're getting feedback from them, and you're communicating, interlacing your words with their feedback to get them what they want. And those are your customers. In the professional world of people working, that means primarily adults, about 5% in every country that has any kind of a free enterprise system involves people in sales. Now, why does that matter? Because sales is the world where we get anything that you buy, anything that you run into anywhere involves somebody that sold something. I took my kids once to an arcade and they were playing the whack-a-mole game. I don't know if you've ever played that. It's a lot of fun. But the interesting thing was I was looking at this game realizing that somebody sold that game to that particular outfit that had all these other arcade games. They must have had 50 arcade games for kids to put their money in and play. Every one of those machines and attractions was sold by somebody. When you go out and you look at your car, your manufacturers, and all of the different things that are in a car, the electronics, the speakers, not to mention some of the implements such as the Seraplex computer system, which is the guiding control and brain of your later automobiles through a big printed circuit board that runs everything in the dashboard. The actual unit is somewhere in the engine, but the dashboard has in it many components of this fantastic computer system. Well, somebody sold that to all the car manufacturers. Somebody created it and sold it to somebody. There's someone somewhere that owns a patent on it. And when people go to this much trouble to create something for the world, it has to be sold. It doesn't do any good sitting on a shelf. So the idea is not to get rid of it, but the idea is very simple, and that is you want to make sure that you get it out there so that the public can have it. And this goes for everything from vaccinations to pharmaceuticals to houses that you buy, houses that you rent. It goes for every intangible business you can think of, whether it's advertising, insurance, or warranties that are often put on us now about these older cars that we have. You need a warranty for it. Then we'll fix this, we'll fix that. Every commercial on TV is selling. The whole idea is the person who creates a commercial has to have somebody sell it to the idea of the buyers at the networks on TV or radio so that when they play it, they get paid. And that's one of the reasons why you see so many commercials, because commercials are not free. Commercials are a company that is putting out there, sometimes it's a public service announcement, but they're putting it on the air and they're paying the broadcaster money to put it on the air. That's again, there's a person that sells that. There was years ago, a school in Los Angeles that I looked at, and that was selling radio time. And that extended to selling TV time and billboard advertising, as well as print advertising in the mail. But everywhere, somebody is selling something. It's a fantastic, lucrative career that you can engage in for the rest of your life. And it's something that I engaged in for most of my life. Now, when you join my workshop, this masterclass will tell you what you're going to learn. And I will personally consult with each one of my students on a one-on-one basis to help them overcome their biggest obstacles and what it is they're selling. Sometimes sales is affected by the time of year. It's affected by the economy. Sometimes it looks like everything can be so dismal, when in reality, what's going on is somebody somewhere is still making money during the bad times. In fact, they say that during the Depression, 1% of the millionaires made their money during the Depression. Just like when we have had tough times here, there have been people that come out of it making more money than you could ever imagine. And I have instances of companies where the entire industry is down for that particular time of year. And it could be affected by so many things, but there's always somebody in that group that's as if their problems don't exist. One of the customers that came to me was a person that wanted to teach their people. This was a sales coach. And we talked about this because she said to me that she wrote so much business during the downtime of the year, it was as if everybody was coming to her. She'd hardly had to do any work. People were just popping up out of the woodwork wanting to buy what she was selling. And this was an amazing person who was making well over $100,000 a year at a time when that was considered like the kind of income that put people way, way over the top. She lived in an upscale community that was gated in a house that was well worth over $1 million that she owned. And when I went to visit at her office in her home, I found myself in a Tudor mansion practically. I mean, today that property would sell for a couple $1 million, if not more. And the area is kind of a hidden area of the world where people don't know it exists. So it's not like really popular. It's not like, Beverly Hills or the Hamptons. It's actually not very famous. But the fact is it exists. And there are people there that have made their money. And you look at everybody, whether they're doctors, because doctors sell. They're selling you pharmaceuticals, they're selling you procedures, tests. What's the first thing that happens when you have an ailment? Well, we're going to have to take a test. We're going to have to give you a blood test. We're going to have to give you a scan. And we're going to have to look at your weight and your blood pressure and test your blood and test your electrolytes or whatever it might be. But they're selling you on the idea. And you're going to buy into it because of their authority. As I said before, confidence that you learn is based on knowledge. When you have enough knowledge to answer any question that a customer brings to you, then you are in a great position to make sure that you are down with everything that can be asked of you. If you're an expert at something, you can't be thrown. Then when somebody asks you a question, you answer confidently because you know the answer. So knowledge equals confidence. Again, click on the link below and join my masterclass, and you'll see what we're talking about. It's free, and if you'll commit to just finishing the free course, then you can decide how you want to proceed. And almost everybody who joins will see an income increase because I will show you how to get there. In some sales places, you can increase your income by increasing the volume of sales. You can increase your income by finding higher clients that are more qualified. And when you run into heavy competition, that's one of the biggest problems that I get. People say, what do I do when the competition is at my throat? There's an answer for that. There's an answer for what to do when you're first starting out. How do you even get the job? Do you know that if you are working either for yourself, establishing a company, or you are applying for a position, you're selling yourself, just like they say, if you're married, if you're engaged, you're still selling. And if you're married, you've closed the sale. Now you have to service the sale. That's the other thing. And we'll cover all of those details. When I say we, I mean, there are other people I will be working with from time to time to give their story of their success. These are some of the top people in their field that closed out their careers as a retired person and yet did very, very well. And what's the difference between what they did and what you're doing? So if you're a salesperson, let's get you started. Click on the link and join me in my masterclass, and we will cover everything. I will give personal one-on-one consultation to those who join to my group, and you will find out more and more as time goes on. As we say, more will be revealed. So I look forward to seeing you then.